In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill. You promised you'd take me there again someday.
Well, Mary, you have to keep dreaming, as Silent Hill, the town, has been abandoned for something that is 100% unapologetically Japanese. Welcome to the world of Silent Hill F. When Konami was looking to revive its long-thought-dead survival horror game series, they decided the previous games were too westernized. We're looking at you, Silent Hill Origins, Homecoming and Downpour, and they needed to go back to the Japanese roots of the series, being the creepy-looking enemies, a remote town filled with fog, a haunting soundtrack, and other things that are considered to be unique to Japanese-style horror. The story of Silent Hill F, written by doujin writer Ryukishi07, features Hinako, a high school girl who walks out of her home after a fight with her father, only to find said town deserted except for 3 of her friends, Sakuko, Rinko, and Shu. Hinako wants to talk to Shu about something, only to be interrupted by Sakuko and Rinko, whom themselves are interrupted by a mysterious red plant moving through the town and killing anyone who gets in contact with it. From here we are put into the shoes of Hinako as she explores her hometown of Ebisugaoka, avoiding the red plants and also a bunch of mysterious monsters which have started wandering the town's streets, alleyways and houses. Hinako can do more than avoid these creatures. She can choose to fight back against them using makeshift weapons that she finds around the town, and also in a mysterious otherworld where a man in a fox mask leads her through this possible underworld, all while Hinako gets warnings saying not to trust him. If any of this sounds familiar, that's because Silent Hill F is very much a Silent Hill game in the spirit of the original trilogy for the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. The town feels like the Silent Hill of old with its twisting and turning streets, complete with the most obvious paths being blocked in some way or another, forcing you to make your way through some tight areas and homes in order to proceed. While this might be tradition with Silent Hill games, the fact that this is still how the layout is designed feels outdated yet keeps the tension at on-edge levels at all times. Another of the big things that keeps the traditions of Silent Hill alive is the soundtrack itself, once again coming from the legendary composer Akira Yakaoma, who is known for creating the soundtrack for the original Silent Hill on PlayStation. His haunting tones and use of silence will transport anyone back to sitting in front of their PS1 and treading through the foggy town of Silent Hill. Combat isn't something that many would think about when it comes to survival horror games, especially given that most other survival horror games, like Resident Evil, have moved to a more combat-focused gameplay style than they have in their previous iterations. Silent Hill F, on the other hand, goes back to using some of the best and worst mechanics when it comes to combat. When faced with an enemy, you can either fight or flee. The choice is yours. If you choose to fight, then you can do so with light and heavy attacks. Using any attack will drain stamina, which you will regain over time. You can also dodge, and timing a perfect dodge will regain all of your stamina. Lastly, you can stun an enemy by hitting it with a heavy attack when a weird blur effect shows on the enemy, but the chances of hitting these are slim because of the wind-up time of a heavy attack, so it's very risk versus reward when it comes to countering. However, you can slow down time by sacrificing some sanity, making it much easier to hit this parry attack. And no, just because a game uses dodges and counters does not make it a Souls-like game in the slightest, so give it a rest. In order to keep ahead of or avoid all of these monsters in town and the other world, you'll be doing a lot of resource management. Silent Hill F gives you 4 different bars to monitor at all times: health, stamina, sanity, and a weapon degradation. To be honest, this is going to be too much when you have to keep an eye on this all at once, and it also creates a false tension that Silent Hill F doesn't really need. And on a personal note, whoever thought weapon degradation is a good idea needs to be fired and strung up by his feet. While Silent Hill F keeps everything that made a Silent Hill game a Silent Hill game, I'm left wondering if that was the true intention to begin with. While playing the game for review, I kept being reminded of when I played Resident Evil 7. Sure, the horror elements are there, and it's a survival horror game to its core, but I keep wondering if this was a completely different game that Konami thought might not sell unless they slapped the Silent Hill branding on it. You're going to see and read a lot of reviews that are going to tell you that the town itself has outlived its time, or that just having the survival horror spirit of the previous games is enough to justify the Silent Hill branding, but many of them have not grown up with the games like I have. They do not see that there is more to Silent Hill than just a name on a sign that welcomes you to the town. It's the story, the cult, the seals needed to contain a god, the struggle between good and evil, the use of a person's sins against. Silent Hill F might give you a small connection here and there, but they are just small platitudes, scraps thrown to long-suffering Silent Hill fan base to justify them buying this game. I'll say the same thing about Silent Hill F that I said about Resident Evil 7. It's a good horror game and feels like something that would sell really well on its own. If you're a fan of Japanese-style horror films or video games, then Silent Hill F is going to resonate with you in a way that you're going to enjoy. But if you're wanting something that is relatable and understandable from a Western audience point of view, you might want to wait until Silent Hill F goes on sale and the Wikipedia page has been updated. Silent Hill F is a good horror game that should be played by as many people as possible, but in the end, I want to return to that town that I see in my dreams, that town of Silent Hill. The Outerhaven would like to thank Konami for providing a review code for Silent Hill F. If you would like to see more news, previews, reviews, podcasts, and live streams from the Outerhaven, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Leave a thumbs up or a comment, and keep coming back to the Outerhaven YouTube channel.